Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Spark of Genius Flesh and Blood production. A little classic constructed replay action. So this is going to be a review from the battle-hardened Cincinnati, not Chicago. We have Chicago ones coming up also. We've got a whole bunch of these that we want to pump out and record to get some more review content for the new meta, because the meta is like slowly shaking out, and everyone's just kind of looking to see what it will be like at the Calling Birmingham coming up, to see like what's going to come out of there. So the battle hardens are kind of the bigger events coming before that, and then we'll obviously look at the Birmingham too, as that's I think it's just like the major event before Nats season. So my name is Eric, joined by my co-creator, co-commentator, co-caster Rob, co-compatriot. I forgot about that one, so sorry about that.
That's
one.
okay.
Co-compatriot Rob on the right here. He's gonna be on Team Mara, I guess. Not gonna be
Yeah,
on
we
Team Pat,
tried to
just according to
fit our
the
faces somewhere. Didn't really fit
yeah.
all on the left side, so this is the way we're doing it. I guess I'm rooting for Mara, and you'll be rooting for Pat. Let's do it that way.
We're not rooting for anything. We're just rooting for a good game. That's what
Yeah.
we're rooting for. So we have
Yeah.
Levia versus Dromai. Obviously, Mara's probably going to be on her trademark red line aggressive Dromai deck. We featured her on the channel for
Some
her
nice
deck tech. There's a
gold
nice gold
boots
little
there.
snaps. Yep.
Yeah.
So if you want to check out the tech for Mara's deck, there are some differences. I think she's running like Lost in Thought and some other cards
Okay.
in this new build, but
Changed a
the
bit.
general idea, she's trying some cards, which is correct. Like you want to be using these smaller events, battle hardens and like tier 2 kind of events to test out new things to bring to the calling and PT worlds, that kind of thing, right? So you don't want to be, you know what, you want to know if the card's good before you're going into the worlds with it, kind of thing, right? So we could start off the game here. So we
Yep.
see Mara
Okay.
4th seed, Pat 5th seed. So Mara gets choice of the seeds. It looks like
Oh, that was
Pat
just
already
scabs.
rolled.
I think he just rolled scabs there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pat rolled. So Mara chose to go second here, because she is the red line aggressive build. So she's
hmm
just going to block out turn one, which is quite good for her. So Pat's just going to be swinging the claw. There's not a ton Pat can do without cards like Swing Big, Deadwood Rumbler, cards like that,
Yep.
where
Deadwood's good too.
you, yeah, those are like I think your key ones that you want to get. But I think outside of those, you can see he's pitching Doomsday and Endless Moss. They didn't really have much going on here. Let's talk about Scowling Fleshbag. What a headpiece.
Yeah, I mean,
Gonna
especially
be
into Mara, this is actually gonna be
Dromai,
pretty
yeah.
good
Go
because
wide decks in
if
general,
your
right?
deck's wide, you have only reds typically.
hmm
It's gonna hurt a lot to lose one of those cards. So
Yeah,
I wonder how he'll use it. I assume he's gonna use it where you're gonna see
just going
Mara
wide.
kind of just
There's a card left.
going a little wide and be a snatch in there. It's like, okay, well, let
Yeah.
me just put this out there so you can't continue your turn, kind of thing.
Yeah, the Scowling in this matchup is worth 6 on average, right? It's worth 2 block and it's worth a 0 for
Mm,
4. Because that's usually what you're gonna get in this matchup.
right.
On average. So Mara did want to get the Ash, as you do, so she pitched towards Seeker's Mitt, pitched to red, and so she'll be able to not brick if she draws 4 dragons, which is something that did
It
happen
does
to
happen.
me once. I think did that in front of Rob at his house, so that was pretty fun.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
remember that. Yeah,
yeah, the nice
pretty
thing
funny.
about these Savage Feats productions is we got all these nifty angles. So
Wow,
shout out to
I
Mansan
wasn't
and crew
expecting
there.
that.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna get a lot more of that later. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, if you know what I mean. So
hmm
the billowing mirage coming in here, going to kind of amass these dragons. I will say into Levia, the Ashwings do double duty,
Yeah,
because popping these Ashwings never feels great if you're the Levia, right? So
true, true.
what is how do you win, Rob? You're Pat. Let's pretend you're on Pat's side here. How do you win as Pat on
Yeah,
Levia?
I mean, you're really not going to be shy about popping things. Levi has
Yeah.
no problem popping things forever because you have so many 6 attacks. So you're just going to keep
Yep.
popping, filling your grave. And then I assume you're just going to ignore mostly every dragon unless you see a Chromai or a Mirror guy. You probably attack
Mhm.
those, but otherwise you just keep going for face
Yep.
because you're not going to waste time popping or attacking dragons when you can pop them with the same resource, really. One attack action card. So
That's fair.
that's what I would do personally.
We do see Pat just kind of taking vanilla damage. Vanilla damage took 7 there from the headlong and the billowing, and then popping the Ashwing, as you
Hmm.
mentioned. Graveling Growl, pretty good, pretty nice card to get in grave. Obviously, all the 6s are good, but as far as the one of the more difficult ones to play, Growl would be it. can't really play that early because
Yeah,
you need to do some. Well, that's a
you
good way to. Oh,
yeah, you
just
can
like
play it with that. You can also play it after playing a Dread Screamer. Banish 3, then
if
play
you
it with
have enough
hand.
addition. Yeah, if you have a because he's got one in the grave, right? So he needs a
Exactly,
little
and
bit more.
you likely don't want to start your Blood Debt train this early. Although the game
No.
is probably going to be fast because Dromai is going to be very aggressive, but it is a
Yep.
bit early because you don't want to catch yourself on a turn where you can't banish and can't turn off Blood Debt. So I think it's important
Yeah.
just to take some time off early, pop things,
Yeah.
block things, and then when you have like, 5, 6 cards in grave, you can maybe start.
Start the train, yeah, because you're going to be adding cards to grave as you're attacking with them. So we do see the
Yeah,
slithering Shadowpede really really good with Art of War. Probably like one of the best 1-2 combos you can do
yeah.
is you can do like Shadowpede into the one he literally the one he
The
just
Graveling?
popped with, yeah, Graveling, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like slithering into Graveling really good because you fulfill the condition
Yep.
automatically, and so you
It
get
also
a
costs
really
3
clean.
perfectly. You got Art of War
Exactly.
1,
So
Slithering, Shadowpede
would go
plus
again, and
Graveling.
yeah, exactly. It's really really clean 13. Like it's what I
Mm.
say, clean 13, 3 cards, but obviously
Yeah,
it's going to be generally the go again and draw two.
yeah. And we can
If
see
I
that's what he
guess
did.
like Pat could be like rolling scabs for like extra aggression. I don't think there's
You
ever a reason to roll
could.
scabs early for that kind of thing, unless you're getting like immense value. I think possibly if Mara has a bunch of really targetable dragons, like maybe like I don't know, double Chromai or
Yep.
something, and then he like rolls scabs to like
And you want
claw
to claw,
claw.
claw.
Yeah, maybe
Exactly.
like Dread Screamer Claw Claw, and you still like get damage to the face, and you get
Hmm.
like double claw off. It's pretty good, I would say.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I wouldn't say as you said, there's not too many dragons that he really wants to, get rid of.
Like
Like
clean up
Miragai
on
and
his own
Chromai are
turn.
the big ones. Yeah, Miragai and Chromai are the bigger ones.
Exactly.
Because if you leave the Chromai and Marl slams Miragai, it's awkward, right? But
Yeah. You,
oh, is
you
he
like basically lose your
rolling
win
scabs?
condition at that point.
Oh, he did what I.
Okay,
He's
so he
rolling
is doing it.
scabs.
I would have suspected a Scabs roll on like a 5 card hand. I think he only had 4 because he blocked with one of the Graveling Growls. But,
Sure,
if he has nothing left to really play, why
but
not?
just claw.
Yep.
Yeah, he's just using it to claw. I think it's fair. He still has one card in hand. It must be a bit of an awkward card to play out, I imagine.
Yeah. Maybe a card that requires a discard.
Just
Um,
yeah, either a draw discard or well, he had the bellows, like he
he could
pitched
he could
bellows
have
for
pitched Billows. That's true. Yeah, I wonder what it
sure
is.
thing.
Because there isn't unless it's just a blood deck card that you don't want to start banishing things for right away.
Yeah, he does now have the three for the additional cost, but he only has 3 cards in his grave
Yeah,
that he's able to
a
play
little
with left.
early
So
because you
yeah, so
banish 3, one goes to grave. You have 1 card for next turn. It's really hard to work off of 1 card.
yeah, it is interesting that because in that case, I'm gonna assume that's a non-blocking card because I'm assuming if that does
Could
block, you
have
just block
blocked.
plays headlong or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, you just save 3 life.
or
No.
or he drew it with Art of War. I guess and it was a bit awkward.
Yeah, it's possible. You could
Yeah,
have drawn with Art of War. Those are like the two scenarios I can see. It either doesn't block, in which
yeah,
maybe he would just would have played it, honestly, but maybe it just
yeah.
wasn't like
I
as
think you
efficient.
always play the Rumbler, Deadwood Rumbler here, because you can banish
Yeah,
from Mara's grave. You don't have to banish from your own grave if you fulfill the condition.
that's also true. Yep,
Yeah.
yep, that's true. But yeah, we won't know for now. He still has his Arsenal card, just chilling
True.
in there.
That's
Also,
been there a couple turns now.
so that has been there. Yes, a couple turns. I agree. So on Mara's side, I think that the idea is that she's able to keep a full grip, which is pretty scary to be honest. Like because she just has a lot of vanilla
Hmm.
damage that's not that easy for Pat to deal with because he does have non-block cards
Well,
in his
she
deck.
she blocked the Shadowpede, I believe, unless I'm crazy.
She blocked the shadow. I guess she did.
She
Did she
blocked.
block the shadow bead?
Well, it was Shadowpede plus 2 claws, so she must have blocked something to be at 34
I
health.
think the life. Think the life totals just aren't updated because she has a
Oh,
4 card hand right here. You see the Chromai
okay.
Snatch, Flame Call, and a card in hand. So I think the life totals are just not updated.
Oh, okay, okay.
So she
Oh,
would have taken a 3, 3, and 6 there.
so 12 damage turn. Yeah, okay. So she'd be at
Yeah.
28 probably.
Okay, it's just slowly being updated. Okay,
Yeah,
slowly being updated.
one by
Off
one.
off the screen. So yeah, so
Okay, we're good.
28. That makes more sense. So 3, 3, 3, and then they must have done I don't
6.
know, whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense. It was 12
Yes.
damage.
You were right. 6 from the beginning. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. 31 and then 28. So she did take the full amount to keep a 5 card grip. 12 vanilla is like kind of nothing at this point. Levia doesn't even have that many on hits other than maybe CNC that you actually care about, but you have Crown of Providence anyways. So it's like, well, I just
Yeah,
5 card hand you with Crown of Providence, unless it's like a Bellows turn or something, which is like, or an Art of War turn for like, but even then it's kind of whatever. But Pat using the scowling flesh bag, right? I'm not
scowling
like just
flesh bag. Yeah. No, you
yeah,
got it.
I didn't actually open that card, so I didn't actually get to physically see
Oh
it yet.
no.
I had to buy one, but
Uh,
I have one. I have one now, but it's not going to be here for a bit.
yeah, gotta wait.
But scowling be kind of interesting to see what what kind of, so we could track what kind of value he's able to get. I think this
Yeah.
is pretty fair.
Yeah.
Fair block onto this. So Mara's gonna have to figure out how
Mm-hmm.
to. Oh, she's gonna respond with the
Oh,
furnace.
okay. So she's narrowing what could be intimidated here by doing that.
Yeah, so she's making sure it's that. Yeah, so she responds as an instant with furnace on the intimidate,
Mm-hmm.
and then which makes sense.
Yep. Yep. So you're by doing this, you're focusing the intimidate on one card, so you're guaranteeing that intimidate. And there's probably a play that can be
Yes.
done without that one card. So it's like,
Sure. Guess there must be a window, otherwise she wouldn't be doing it. I was just thinking if there's an actual window to
I
respond in defense step.
I think
I
they
guess
they
there
amended that
must be.
rule to add a
Did they?
window.
Okay.
Yeah, there was
Okay.
something else
Yeah,
that
yeah,
caused
yeah, yeah.
the
You're right. You're right.
interaction.
You're right. I remember. I remember. I do remember now. I remember that
Yeah,
update for them to adding a window in
yeah,
defense
because
section as
it
well.
wasn't there
Because it used to
before.
be you can't. Yeah, it used to be
You're
that you
right.
couldn't respond.
You're right.
Um,
Yeah.
because you would be like, oh, barraging beat down. It's like, oh yeah, you could respond to that. Like that's something you
Right.
could respond. It's just a non-attack action. But like in defense
Exactly.
step, there wasn't a window. But now there is. You are correct. So we just see a Billy Mirage that came out of Arsenal. So this is actually like as efficient as you get. So Mara still gets to Arsenal that one card, right? Which is probably
Hmm.
just another red go again or something like that.
So I'm actually
Um,
wondering why she didn't want the Phoenix Flame to be intimidated there, because she pitched that away to prevent the
because
Phoenix Flame from being
probably just
intimidated.
doesn't want it. Probably doesn't want it in Arsenal. Like that's usually just a pitch,
Oh,
anyways.
okay, okay.
So she just wants to like
Just
pitch it
get guaranteed to
to
get it
begin
out of
with.
there and don't be stuck with it at the end of your turn.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much it. So she can control the fact that she'll be able to Arsenal that card.
Okay.
Because if it's the other one and she needs to hitch it, and then her Arsenal's now like a Phoenix Flame, which is
Yeah.
not. Which means your other flame calls are now useless. So if she draws into another flame call, she has no target.
Popping
Assuming she
Chromai.
only has one.
Yeah.
Yeah, popping the Chromite makes sense. She has
Makes
no targets.
sense.
It kind of makes sense. So we have the he's got like a
The one
little
Ashwing, I guess.
toke, a little
I believe
flashback
those
token there
are
to go into the grave.
Ashwings. Oh.
Yeah, those are Ashwings. Yeah, those are
Interesting.
Ashwings.
Okay. Interesting. Oh, I guess because they're in top loaders. His equipments are in top loaders,
Yes.
so you put the token in there just for the banish effects. It typically doesn't
Yes.
matter, but in Levia it matters. Okay, attacking with the Mark of the Beast. So this is gonna start blood debt now because that
No,
has
he
to be
popped,
banished.
he popped an Ashwing with Mark of the Beast.
Oh,
I
he
believe.
popped. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, which is interesting, but
yep.
he
So
can't
blood debt's gonna start.
play it. Yeah, Blood's gonna start. He can't. I mean, he can transform and then play it, like eventually, right?
Yeah, that's true.
If he
Into
transforms into
Plasmafit.
consumed,
Yeah,
because it's
exactly.
gonna be like the card that's the stack that he has. I think 13 blood debt, right? So the minimum 13 stack that he has.
Hmm.
Oh, sorry, that's Leviathan
It
Redeem.
has
I'm
to
thinking the
be
other way around. 13
um
health. Sorry. So when he
right,
goes down to the
right,
13
and he
health,
doesn't flip
whatever
those
he has,
cards. Yeah, so he doesn't flip.
he does not flip it.
But he does whenever you take blood debt. I think you banish face down for
Those
every
ones
blood
are
debt.
face down. That is
Yeah.
correct. It is you banish them, and then the trigger on consumed flips them down. So that's like the
Mm.
technical, like
Oh,
how it
right,
actually
right.
works.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
So Mara
Okay, a
gonna flip
rabble.
a red because all her
So
cards are red.
I assume that Pat took a damage from blood debt because he didn't really do anything on his turn.
Yes. So he went from he took a
32,
damage from
31.
blood debt
Yeah. Okay.
32 to 31. Yes. So
Yeah. So one
Mara
isn't
with another 4 card
so
hand
bad.
here.
Yeah, I mean you're okay at setting at one blood debt, and it's like not the end of the world. But once
Mhm.
you start getting to 3 or 4, that's a lot of damage to take per turn if you don't take care of it.
Yeah, I'm curious when he's gonna like pull the trigger here
Ooh,
because
rabble,
he's starting to take a little bit of Damaggio here.
Yeah, I mean, I see Art
Excuse
of
my
War and
Italian.
Beast Within in hand. So looking like a strong hand. Looks like Pulping, Beast Within, Art of War, and maybe a blue Graveling Growl.
Okay,
Um,
it's like pretty reasonable. I don't think
um,
that's a great blocking hand, so
that is true. Although I really wonder what you could do with that hand. You'd probably pitch the blue Graveling for Art of War, banish
yeah,
Beast
it could
Within.
be it could be relying on his arsenal, right? He could be like playing off
Oh,
like a
that's
blood
true. We
rush
don't
from
really
arsenal
know
or
what it
something like
is.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's still been there for a while, no? Like, he still
If
hasn't touched that card.
Oh yeah, I mean if Arsenal is Blood Rush, which I'm kind of leaning towards now because he hasn't played it in a long time. If
Playing the
it is a bit awkward to have Art of War and Blood Rush together because you can't play Blood Rush before using Art of War because you might discard it, and you have to make sure the cards you draw from Art of War are not just non-attack action cards that you can't discard. So it's a bit
you
of a
probably
tricky situation.
probably start with the Art of War and then see what
Yeah.
happens. I don't think
See,
you'd
see what happens.
actively try to like
No, you
screw
don't. You don't try to
yourself with
luck
the
it with
no,
Blood
because you
Rush.
have Blue Growl's a 5. Art of War is a miss also,
Yeah, Blue Growl's
so
also
you can't
five.
just
It's
get
true.
all. Yeah, you can't get all your
Oh,
misses out of
oh,
the hand.
we're looking at the hand.
Yes,
Art
yeah,
of
Art
War,
of War, red
pulping. Oh, it's
pulping.
a
Okay,
yellow growl.
yellow.
It's a yellow
All right,
growl.
he's only got one miss. That's not too bad. It looks like he is gonna still go with the pulping though. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, opting not to use Art of War probably smart. The hand wasn't.
just pitch it.
Yeah, the hand wasn't really tailored towards a good Art of War turn. I think. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you could have banished pulping and then used Graveling Growl, but that's a very good discard.
Beast within
Yeah, he got lucky there. Oh, is that the new Diabolic
diabolic offering. Oh,
offering?
blood rush.
Oh, he lost
Oh,
two.
blood rush.
Oh, that hurts my soul. Yeah,
Yeah. So he
that
took 4 and lost his deck.
that's almost a
God.
death sentence to lose two blood rushes.
At least he gets that rumbling.
He gets a nice red. Hopefully, it's red. Yeah,
Every
my
time
heart sank.
every time I think about like I want to bring this deck to like tournament.
Then this
Then I
happens.
just remember that like shit like this happens.
It's
And then I'm
happened to
just
me.
like
I think I once lost. I think I took 5 blood
seven
and lost. Oh, I think it was 7. Sorry,
and you lost
7
two
damage from
blood
Beast Within. I
rush.
lost 2 blood. Yeah, so
Yes.
it happens, and it's really unfortunate when that does, because they're
I
your
just
win
don't
con.
yeah. I just don't like when the deck says, "Nah, you don't get to
Yeah,
play this game. This
yeah.
this one's a scoop. Sorry."
Well, that's
Like you could be winning,
brute.
losing. Yeah, that's brute.
If you're
But
playing
like
brute, that's what you're in for.
it is what you're in for. It's just every time I want to play Levia and Rydar, I'm just like, oh god.
Yeah.
It's just like
Well,
I kind of have to play it because it's just too good when it's good.
yeah,
But
yeah,
losing double blood rush, then
yeah. I mean,
diabolic offerings, whatever.
you could play a deck without Beast Within in Levia, because it's not as important, because you're not discarding with you're not drawing and discarding a lot in that deck.
Yeah, no, that's
Reinar
true.
probably plays a few more of those draw discard mechanics, so much better in Reinar.
Yes,
But it's still, I mean, it's still a great card. You just have to deal with the variance of potentially banishing your Blood Rush. And here, Pat lost 2.
sure. I think Mara like she can't obviously double block this. It's got dominate,
Yep.
but she's probably gonna take it and that's it. I don't really see a point of her blocking that much. Oh,
Was
one
that
on
a
the
scab?
scabs though. Yeah. I think every time he rolls, it's just scabs at this point, right? Like it just has
Yeah.
to be scabs.
Yeah.
It's interesting because
That should be a 1 action point,
you,
not 2. He rolled a 2, right?
he's not representing his action points. I think he's just putting it back on the Levia. But
Okay. Yeah.
it is interesting the choice of scabs here over the hooves. I
In a
think
shorter game.
scabs. Yeah, I think the minute I see Mara, I might actually just go towards hooves, just because like
Yeah.
I can get that guaranteed 6 to 7 value off of it, right? Rather than
Yeah.
yeah,
You
and then
are
I get to
giving up
run
2
different.
block, though. So you do give up 2
Picking up
block
the
in an
block.
aggro matchup, right? Because Scavs
But then
will
you
block
get to
3.
run the prevention
Oh,
gloves. You get to
the
run the shadow gloves.
shadow
Yeah,
gloves. Yeah.
so really it's the same. It's like
Yeah.
2 prevention plus 1 armor.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
Because you don't need to run gamblers if you're on hooves, right?
Yeah.
So I almost kind of think that it
Okay.
might have been better into specifically the red line Dromai build, because like Mara's just not blocking, right? And
No.
having the guaranteed hooves would make her think about like, oh, you just get 7 on board
Yeah.
on
You
like
just get
a
a
reasonable
free
turn.
red Graveling Growl maybe, or something like that.
Yeah, yellow or red Graveling Growl. It doesn't like even on like a Blood Rush, it could just turn that extra action point guaranteed into a much
Like
better Blood
9
Rush
or
turn rather
10
than
damage. Yeah.
yeah. Because if you Blood Rush and then you roll like a 2 or 3 or something like that, or a 1, God forbid, it's just like
Well,
you're just
yeah.
playing with fire, right?
It's true. It's true. Yep.
Yeah,
I
so
think that makes
his
sense.
turn is his turn was kind of doomed after that because he needed 2 action points, so he didn't get it, so
Well,
he just
he
got
could have.
a
Interesting that because he could have clawed, because Claws had built-in go again there because of the discard. So it could have been claw into something. He did discard the Beast Within with his pulping there. So
did discard
Claws,
the Beast Within with the pulping. That is true. He might have had double red in hand.
he
but
might have. Yeah, that was a red Deadwood, I believe, that he pitched, along with
he
the
did pitch
yellow Art of War.
Yeah, because he pitched the red to go to 2, so he might have just had 2 reds. I think if he has a yellow or a blue, he just pitches to claw again. I do agree with you because you just claw face. It's just 3 damage, right?
Oh yeah, Diabolic Offering is not a 6 attack. I think you would have needed.
No,
What's the effect?
It's not a
If
six
you had
attack.
banished to 6 or more, then it becomes 6 attack, 6 defense. I think that's how it works.
Yeah, he hasn't though.
Oh,
Like
but he didn't
his
banish. He
first banish.
discarded.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, no, he banished Diabolic, but
Um.
he when he Beast Within, he
Right.
put Beast Within to the grave, and then he was
Yep.
banishing off the
Yep.
top. His first banish was Diabolic, then it
So
was Blood Rush, Blood Rush.
so
So
at that
he didn't actually
point he did
banish.
not banish yet. So
Correct.
Diabolic was still at the asterisk or 0 basically.
Yeah, it had no actual value
Yeah.
there.
That's
Diabolic
unfortunate.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's really bad in scenarios like that.
Yeah.
But it's very good in actually I found it the best in defensive scenarios, even though because
Hmm.
you're allowed you could just literally Artivore and it turns into a 7 block,
That's
right?
true.
Because if you Artivore, banish a 6 power,
Uh,
choose +1/+1,
right.
it's just a 7
It's
block off
your
of blue.
unmovable for free.
It's literally a red unmovable.
It does
So
force you to use Artivore defensively though, which is kind of annoying because you don't want to be doing that, really.
true, but you get like such immense value
Yeah.
off of it that it's just like sometimes just necessary,
Yeah.
especially for some decks that are forcing on hits. So
Yeah.
like if someone's dominating you, super good to
True,
have,
true.
right?
And
Like
it's
because you're
not a
not gonna
win
be
condition
running.
in the deck. It's just
No,
you
no,
get
no,
some
no.
medium power turns with it, but then Blood Rush is your real win condition.
Yeah, so I think Pat's deck is mainly geared towards consumed and not redeemed. So he's mainly going to be looking towards
Mm,
consumed, and he's already at 19. So he kind of like
yeah,
put the Husk in
it's
front. I think Levia is always running Husk, unlike Vincent. Like Levia
true.
has no reason not to run the Husk because you can turn it off.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
he's already got Blood Debt
He only has
2.
2 though. He needs 13, I believe.
No,
Oh
no,
no, he needs to take damage down to
he needs to
13.
be at 13. Yeah, the minute he
Sorry, it's the
turns
health.
13.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see.
redeemed
It's
is
hard to
the
remember.
8, and then
Redeemed is the blood debt. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah,
redeemed is you go to 8 health,
right.
but you need to have 13 in your blood debt. So
Okay, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think that's how you win. I think that's mainly
Mm-hmm.
if you because that's when you redeemed and then you flip everything you have over to the
Yeah.
face down, right?
So
And
you
then
turn
all
off.
your cards lose blood debt. Yeah, all your cards lose blood debt, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's the idea.
It's very
So
good when
that's
you're at the like very low health totals, and then you're just outvaluing your opponent by playing like bigger cards than they are, and you don't really care
mhm.
about blood debt anymore. I think that's
Yeah,
typically where it shines.
you won't fatigue yourself essentially. Like consumed, you will fatigue yourself eventually,
Yeah,
depending on how much blood debt you have.
yeah,
So
yeah.
looks like Marl going to
Okay,
be doing yield snaps. Ooh, Lost in Thought. So that's kind of the card
that's
I
the
mentioned
new one.
before.
This is the one that
Yeah, so
looks at the hand,
yeah, you
and
get to take an attack action and you give him a ponder. So she's going to take an attack
okay.
action. Uh,
So likely going to be taking swing. Oh no, probably the
no,
blue
she's going to be taking the Wrecker-Romp.
taking the
Oh, she's
Wrecker-Romp
definitely
because you
taking the
can't.
Wrecker-Romp.
Uh, oh
No, she's
yeah,
taking the
yeah.
Wrecker-Romp.
So Wrecker-Romp because you can't pay for anything else without it.
That is backbreaking. That is literally turning your hand from like a 2 for 8 into
Yeah,
like nothing.
into
Like you
nothing.
can't even pay for anything, right?
No, and you can't block with pulping either. So it means that
Yeah.
it's going to be stuck in hand.
Yeah, you know the sad part? It doesn't even put it in like grave that
Where does it go?
you can like at least no, it goes to the bottom of the deck. Like
Oh, bottom of deck. So you
it goes
can't
bottom of
even
the deck.
gain
So
an extra
Pat doesn't
damage
even get
target.
Pat doesn't even get another 6 power in
That's so good.
it's kind of sad.
It's especially
Uh
good if you target the card that turns off Blood Debt, right? Because if
mhm,
Levia really needs to turn off Blood Debt or she takes 8 damage, that card just
yes,
ruins you.
true. So Marl's just gonna be poking here, but there is no arcane barrier on Pat's side. So burn them all pretty good here.
Yep.
He's just gonna be he's shaking his head here. Now he's pretty much
So
has to pop something because his hand does nothing. So
yeah,
he
but
can either
you
keep 2 reds and take 3 for no particular
no,
reason, or he
definitely
can
not.
pop one and do nothing, right?
Yeah, it's too bad that you can't actually use pulping to pop because it doesn't have a defense value.
It doesn't have a defense. He has to pop it with swing big, which is really sad.
Yeah, and then the arsenal, like who
Swing big
knows what
is
that is, but I doubt you can really do anything.
yeah. What is that Arsenal card? I am super curious because that's just been sitting there for the whole game.
Do you think he's sitting on a blood dripping frenzy? We haven't seen that
No,
yet. No. Okay.
no. There's no way he's. I would be very 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 confused if he put in like blood dripping so early because that's just like a dead card in a lot. So he doesn't have
It
crown problem.
is.
He has no way of getting it out. Like there's no because
Yeah.
he's running scaling. If he was running Crown of Providence, then yeah maybe. But
Mhm.
like,
I mean, what else could it? Maybe it's a Graveling, and he hasn't really had a
could be
good
the last
opportunity to play it.
could be the last Blood Rush. He's got one
Could
more.
be.
He banished 2, right?
He did banish 2, and he hasn't played them yet. So
He
could
hasn't
be.
played any yet.
Could be the first
Yeah,
one and the last one.
yeah. So he's gonna take 2, go down 16 blood debt. So
Yeah, it's
he's
not looking
honestly
great.
probably looking at a point to consumed here because he needs
Yeah,
to get
he
more blood debt in there. Otherwise, he's just waiting 2 more turns, right? So he'll go from like
yeah
16 to 14. Oh, I guess he could take damage to go to
he
exactly
he could
14
take, yeah,
transform.
exactly.
A little bit difficult because like Mara's gonna have the arcane damage too, and then she just like
Right.
slaps. So she'll go to 15, and then he'll have to like somehow prevent like only take 1, so like block 3 on a 4, and
Yeah.
then block with Husk on like a 4 power. Like
Hmm.
it gets really messy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I
Um,
think if Mara starts with an Ashwing, you just take the Ashwing and the Arcane, go to 14, and then you
yeah,
pop whatever comes next. Or you just block
yeah,
out whatever comes next to guarantee your Levia consumed.
yeah. She also has she still has 4 armor, which is kind of funny. Like she still
That's
has armor
true.
on her side too. He has husks, mind you, but like she has
Yeah,
more
that's
flexible
true.
armor.
And now's probably the time to use your Husk because you can't really
You
take
kind of
much more damage before it pops.
no.
Oh, and
It's
it's
just
got
gonna
a
be
Mirror
putting
guy.
off. She's
Yeah.
gonna be the mirror guy, so that's gonna come in for 2 for free that you kind of have to block because it's got no
Well, it's going to be
phantasm there.
3. Well, sorry, the 1 Arcane plus the 2 physical. So this,
Yeah,
you have to block it. There's no way around it unless you want to lose your Husk.
yeah, or you can, yeah, you can like pray there's something better to husk block. So that's what he's gonna be doing. He's just gonna
Yeah.
go to the 13,
Well,
or he's gonna take the arcane for
I don't
now.
think you take 13 because you turn off the potential to go into Levia consumed, right?
No, no, I meant that like, no, never mind. He's probably blocking the physical and just gonna take
Right.
the arcane
So
here.
he'll go
But
to 15 with the Arcane. Yeah, yeah.
the issue is like at some point he has to just give her husk and pivot. I
Yeah.
feel like pivot into a
It,
aggressive stance. Otherwise, he's just gonna lose slowly with all these Ashwings.
oh yeah. Yeah.
So
You can't wait around because
yeah,
you're
what
not
is
dealing with Ashwings. You're Unworldly Bellow, I believe.
yeah, he doesn't even have a ton to consume. Like he doesn't have a ton in banish to
No,
play
there
with
isn't that
consume.
much to.
So
Yeah, it's not even gonna be that
is he
big of a power spike.
is he screamered this game? I don't even remember.
No, he hasn't. No.
He is not, right? Yeah, he
He,
hasn't because he hasn't done any of it. Like most of the stuff in his banish is for Beast Within. He hasn't actually banished it off like a card, right?
maybe he's sitting on a Dread Screamer and just wanted to have enough cards in Banish to or
He
in
could.
Grave to play it.
Yeah,
Although
that
now is
lost in
the
thought.
time. Now is the
That
time.
lost in thought, like
Yeah.
just like was really really good.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
just
It turned
allowing
off a big
Mara to
damage
like
turn.
yeah turned off
Or potentially more
turned
with
off.
the pulping.
Yeah, he might have still popped with swing big and then come in
Or
with
just
pulping and
pulping for 6 dominate potentially. Draw discard, fill the grave.
yeah, you get 2 more in grave,
Yeah.
1 6 power for sure,
Hmm.
possibly another 6 power. So it's like pretty reasonable. I think she should just probably swing any of the vanilla damage she has. I think she's probably thinking Mara's probably thinking about a way. Oh, burn them all and
Is that a
lost in
second
thought. I
lost
think
in
it's in her
thought?
hand.
Yeah,
Also, she's just thinking about whether she wants to lost in thought, or she might also be thinking because I think he pops the next Ashwing for sure.
I think so.
So she has to either do one or the other, right? So
Okay,
it
so
looks like she'll
second burn
play
the.
the other burn the
Oh,
ball.
this is unblockable. Oh, it's only 1 arcane though. Never mind. So it's not
It
that
is one
bad.
arcane.
Yeah, yeah.
So
If it
she's
was
gonna
2, it'd be
arcane.
over. But the 1 arcane is okay because you go to 14. Then you can do Levia consumed. Still.
Yes. So he's gonna take another arcane because that burn the mall has not triggered yet.
Yeah.
Right. So the second burn the mall is gonna be doing the 1 arcane off the Ashwing.
Hmm.
He's gonna be going down to 14.
No, he might pop it
And she's
here.
gonna save. Yeah, so she could either Arsenal the Lost in Thought. She can also pitch it towards Flame Scale. That's also pretty reasonable
Hmm.
to get 2 Ash. I would
Marco the
assume
Beast.
she might
Okay.
actually just she would just Arsenal it, right?
Yeah. So Mark of the Beast going to be the 3rd target for Levia consumed, which is not so bad.
Mm,
The
it's
problem is,
okay.
if you Levia consumed here, you lose your Husk. Because you're going to go down to 13 and Husk will pop, I believe, right?
Husk.
Husk is end
Yeah.
of your own turn, I believe? Question mark. So I assume it happens after the blood debt.
No, no, sorry. Husk is start of turn. Husk is not end of turn.
Oh, it's start of turn. Okay, so you're still
So
okay.
he'll get a turn. He'll get a turn.
You'll get a
Yeah.
turn to use it. Okay, good. Yeah.
Yep, he'll get a turn to use it, and I don't think there's any way Mara's gonna like dance around it, kind of thing. I think she'll like
Just
she can attack with Ashwings, I guess.
Yeah.
But you know,
Yeah.
or the mirror guy.
You're
Right?
getting it
But,
anyway. So might as well just
yeah,
attack.
so she's good at Arsenal the Lost in Thought. I think it's a better play because she can pretty easily put some pressure and then lost in thought and just brick his turn because Pat
Hmm.
doesn't really have the flexibility to be able to really take that much more damage at this point because of the burn them alls just slowly ticking his life
Yeah,
away here. I don't know how many reds she actually has in grave though, so that'll be kind of
true.
interesting to
I'm gonna guess
track.
not a lot more. Um,
She might have like a turn or two left for these
yeah, I
both
would
burn
say
them
maybe
all.
one more turn.
Yeah,
Or
which is pretty good because
she
it's
can
still
probably
free to
banish the
finish.
5. I believe that's coming next, and then that'll be it.
Yes, yeah.
All
So
right.
it's gonna be pulping into the mirror guy.
Draw discard.
Use it to get
It was the
harvest,
soul
full harvest.
harvest. Yeah, that's fine. You're never gonna have enough pitch to play it anyway, so it's fine
Yeah,
to get it out of there.
yeah, that's probably the best one, I assume. Okay, so he's just saying he's gonna transform. So he's gonna take his consumed
Okay.
pulping has go again, so he saw his action point, which is like the whole kind of reason to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's gonna be banishing 3 cards, I believe. One,
Nope.
two. Oh no, he's at 14. He was at 14, right? So he took one,
So he's gonna
went to
banish 2.
13.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of going and then
Yeah. So he has 3 blood debt cards. They're not great, unfortunately. Mark of the Beast is a 2 for
mhm.
6, which is it's medium, and
Yeah, it gets to turn off blood debt, quote unquote. But
well, not anymore. It doesn't matter, I guess.
yeah,
And then the last one was the Diabolic Offering, which could be a 6 for, I believe it's for 1 or 2. I forget the cost.
diabolic offering costs quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't be 1. Maybe it's a 3.
Oh no, it
Oh,
does cost 1. I guess it's just a blue,
it's
but
1.
like it's
Okay.
just
Yeah.
it just has its condition, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Like
basically, you
he
have
needs
to
to
play
do
it like a
something.
Graveling Growl. You gotta banish something and play
Yes,
it in for 1 for 6. So
you
it's
literally it's literally a
yeah,
yellow Graveling Kernel
yeah,
for all intents and purposes here.
yeah.
Um,
Okay.
it's it.
So
Yeah, I'm
Husk
so
has to be
curious
used
about
here,
what's Husk has to be used. Yeah, pretty
yeah.
much.
Or else you lose it. Lost in Thought coming out. So we'll see
Yeah,
if
lots of does
Mara
have to go
can.
again too.
Oh, well,
Is that a red Dread
Dread
Screamer?
Screamer is probably the card you take out here. Oh, well, actually, no, I'm wrong.
No,
Of
you
course,
take the
the
blue
blue.
wrecker off.
I keep making that
He can't
mistake. Of
pay.
course, you take
He
away
can't
the
pay.
resources.
Now he just can't pay for
Well, I guess you
anything.
gotta use 2 CNCs.
Oh man, Pat's face is a little bit disgusted on that
Ugh.
second lost in thought there.
Both times he
I
only
guess
had 1 blue to pay for his stuff.
yeah.
Very
Which is fair.
unfortunate.
Levi doesn't run a ton of blues here. It's just, Mara's just gonna like ping with
So
arcane until the
Arcane.
sun don't shine here, which is interesting.
3
But
arcade on the next attack, so going to 10.
assuming she attacks the last Asphalt, yes. I don't know what the last cards in her hand is
Yeah,
though.
but
Oh, she's
rep-
just gonna Ash one.
so two arcane. She is representing 3 arcane damage this turn though, so it's going to be really annoying to deal with this. You likely
Mhm.
have to Husk. It'd be funny if she just attacks with the Ashwing and just ends her turn, so the Husk just dies. And like
Yeah, I mean
Pat doesn't want to block with it here, and he's saving her something better.
she could pitch a red to flame scale and then arsenal last card.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not unreasonable. I think it's
Hmm.
like you miss 1 damage, right? Like you miss the 1 arcane
The
by
1
not
arcane.
attacking, but then
Yeah, but you can save it. Like you
uh
can use it the next turn after,
yeah,
because it's almost certain that it's being popped, unless. The funny thing is, you actually need all 3 cards in Pat's hand to pay for anything, right? Because it's 3 reds and they all cost 2.
yeah,
Okay.
he's just gonna pop the Ashwing here.
Yeah, yeah. And we're
She has
seeing
a sigil too.
the sigil to heal for 3. Yeah.
Interesting. So this game state looks fairly doomed for Levia.
Mhm.
Like you have a blood rush somewhere, either in your arsenal. I
Either
guess it's not doomed if it's in your arsenal. I guess.
yeah. You can come back with a single blood rush, but you're gonna be
Mhm.
a little handicapped by how many cards you can keep, because you're likely
Yeah.
not keeping everything, and you're gonna
Yeah.
probably
So
work on a
how's
3-4
that?
card hand. Although at least you have a card from Banish to play, but it's gonna be a mediocre one at best. So it's like,
Yes.
if there were Gravelings, it'd be great, but it's too
Yeah.
bad that there aren't any.
So Pat gonna get 3 more face down cards in his banish to not
Lost in
die.
Art of War. At least there was no blood rush in there.
I guess so. That is correct. I mean, like he's not worried about fatigue, I guess, but like he's Husk got a whole lot of nothing done there, which is not
Yeah,
it's not really his fault. I think Mara just played it super well.
she
and
played
in
around
that
it.
she's just gonna like swing with an Ashwing and get the most value you can get. And it's like if Pat wants to take another 1 to just block 2 on the Asvalai, that's fine. Like that's
Yeah.
completely reasonable because he's going to be down to 9 instead.
Yeah.
Because he would be taking one Ashwing and he would be taking an Arcane, so he'd be a 9, and then he'd get Husk value, but that's just the 2. It's just like
Hmm.
the 2 physical anyway.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Either way, so this would have been a great target for Husk, but Mara probably
yeah,
like
but
waited for this.
she might not have had it because Pat just like
That's true. It
flawed
wasn't
and
from
went
the
back.
Arsenal.
She wasn't from the Arsenal. She probably just didn't have it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I also think you should probably. I think she probably would have saved it. I definitely would have saved it if I were her.
Yeah, because it's a
I would have just
guaranteed
flown with
block
Ashwing.
on unless you go for 7 and get one over the Husk,
No,
but
you
you
nah,
probably don't.
you
You
block
don't
with
bother.
Husk. You 100%
Yeah,
block with Husk here.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
she was able to keep the 2 burn the moles. So that's another 2 arcane
mhm.
damage. This is probably the last one, though. I don't think she has 7 cards to banish.
She'll probably keep the one with 2 on it, and she'll banish 3
Oh
and keep
right,
that one. And just
you can probably keep 1. Yeah.
yeah, because I think burn them all dies for like she can order that trigger first, right? She could put that burn them all, be like lost, put it in the grave, and then use that burn the ball, banish it for the other burn them
True.
all, right? So you can just
Yeah.
order that trigger that way, which is kind of nice. But she's
That's
gonna have
true.
like red attacks and like red
She's,
everything.
she's
Sigils
yeah.
work.
Sigil. She's putting E-Strike in there as well. So hey,
Mhm.
maybe she does have 7.
Well, he's counting it right now. 1, 2. Okay, I can't read the hand signals that well, but that's fine. It's
Yeah.
it's enough, put it that way. But
Hmm.
I guess like how much could Pat really take you? He's got one of the scabs.
You
He's
didn't
still
want
got
to
the
see an
gambler's
E-Strike.
glove.
I think anything but the E-Strike. It's just too much damage. It'll go to
Mhm.
6, and you're gonna
Try the
see. Well, no no more dragons on Mara's side, but likely a
It's not that
dragon
hard
in
to make
hand.
though.
Yeah, you just play one
Yeah.
out and attack with it. So another
Could just
Asvalai
be
would
like
bring you to
another.
like 3, or could be a Kyloria like for 4 more damage. There's a lot that
I think
can come out.
Rake would be the best point. Oh, reckless swing here. So that's gonna
Okay,
deal.
it's not a bad card to see. It's only for 4, but let's see
Or
what
is better.
the okay Shadow. Yeah, I actually was
Shadow
kind of
Blast.
torn about Shadow. I still don't know if it's a great card. I'm like, it probably got better because of the new cards, although it's still no block.
It is a no block. You just draw, discard a random. If a card with 6 or more,
Yeah, then
search
you
a
could
blood dead
get a
bash.
blood
That's
dead
just tutor.
card. It's a
It's
tutor.
just you're tutoring a blood dead card. But like
Yeah.
what's like unless you're tutoring blood rush, what's another blood dead card you want to tutor?
Well, I think the card you tutor has to be banished, or does it go to hand? I forget.
No. You banish it. You banish
You
it.
banish it. So there aren't many blood deck cards that you can really play out of banish, besides like Deep Rooted Evil, maybe.
Yeah, it's literally deep rooted evil.
I guess no. Shadowpede can't even be banished that way. It has to be from hand, so you can't even do it with Shadowpede.
Yeah, Shadowpede has to be from hand.
Yeah.
I mean, you could put the Shadowpede in there and then consumed, and then you could play Shadowpede, right?
Right. That's a good point.
Like
You can play it after you
in a
consumed.
roundabout way. Yeah. So you're getting more blood debt in your. Sorry, you're getting more cards in your blood that you could play once you consumed.
Right.
But so it's
Although
literally
a little loose. It's
all
2
in.
for 6. Yeah.
It's all in on consumed. You're essentially your game plan is consumed here.
Right. Right. From
So
that respect, yeah, I can see it, but it doesn't block, so it's really awkward into an aggro deck. I don't know if I would run it
well,
into Dromai. Oh, it pops.
I don't.
Oh, but you can't pop with it,
It
so
does.
never mind.
It has no block.
You can't block.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is an interesting card. He's also running Rumblers. It's a lot of non-blocks to be fair, Art of Wars,
Right.
but
Yeah.
this is just going to be Asvalai just doing Asvalai things. 1 arcane.
So he took the was he at 11? He was at 11. So he blocked right, he blocked 4 from the E-Strike, took 1, went to 10, then
Mhm.
took 3 from the Asvalai, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not popping it. He's got to go off here, so he's not going to bother.
He's just hoping he
blocking there.
survives. Which he will.
Yes.
He'll go with 3.
Yeah, and Asvalai just did 3 arcanes. That's why he's down.
Yeah.
3 arcane. He should be at lower than 7, no?
That's a good point.
1, he went to 10, then he took 3 arcane, goes
should
to
be at,
7.
should be at 5
physical
here,
to
I
go to
believe.
5?
Yeah, he's at.
Yeah, because that makes the big difference. Oh, there you go. So now he's at 5.
So he's actually
that's
at
correct.
5. Okay, he'll go to
He's actually
1.
at 5.
So literally,
Yeah, that is-
like last ditch effort right now. Takes 4, go to 1, and then sees what he
I'm
gets.
intensely.
Oh.
Okay, what is? Please, Pat, tell me what is this? Oh, why are you not? He's not showing me what's in the arsenal.
That
That is depresso.
Come
Espresso.
on.
Okay, well,
Yeah. Espresso depresso. Well,
That is.
that's funny.
Did he just
We'll
not?
never
Did he
know.
just not like have? He just didn't have a good enough hand to like bother continuing. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, 20 health, and you literally just die to an Asvali attack. Like, you have to clean up Asvali if you
You,
want any chance of surviving. Mara is likely going to keep one burn them all anyway.
she can't. Yeah, he can't go to one. He can't, right? Because one burn them all is staying on the field regardless. So
Mm-hmm.
she attacks with literally any dragon,
Yeah,
and then it doesn't matter if you pop it or not.
it's
You're
over.
still taking the damage. Yeah, because the arcane still goes through. It's really just the physical. Same thing with like rune chants and all that kind of thing. It's like if you attack with
Yeah.
a rune chant and Rosetta, the arcane from the rune chant will kill you. Like it's on a different. It comes beforehand, right? So, it is interesting that again, I don't think Scab's got a whole lot of anything done in this
No, he
particular
rolled it
matchup.
turn one, and I don't even think he did much with it turn one.
I think he clawed.
It was claw claw. It's true. Yeah,
Yeah, he clawed. I
he
like
got block
he
at
got really
least.
unlucky. He got really unlucky with Beast Within. I'll admit, but like the problem with saying he got unlucky is like I've seen that shit happen so many times at this point where I just think it's like pseudo standard because you're not your entire deck is not 6 power, right? Like you have a bunch of like
Yeah,
enabling cards.
got the
Uh, uh,
Art of
it's
Wars, Blood Rush. He had
Bellows,
the Bellows, Unworldly
Blood
Bellows
Rush
in there.
Bellow, Blood Rush, and Unworldly. Like there's
Yeah,
a bunch of misses that you can have. So
yeah. It's just unfortunate that it happened to two Blood Rushes back to back. Like
yes, that is
that's
the unlucky part. Not
that's the
that you
key.
just missed on the first one, but that you just missed in such a
No, and
grand
I think
fashion.
you expect to miss, and it's not even the end of the world if you do because it's just one damage. You still get your 6 power eventually. And you don't care if you lose an Unworldly Bellow, even an Art of War. It's like okay, but losing Blood Rush is really painful, and if you lose two, it's like you rely on seeing it early as Levia because, well, not that early because of Blood Dead, but once you're on like turn 3 or 4, I think you just want to see it
Mm,
as soon as possible, and
sure.
he would have if he didn't banish them, because we saw almost all game Mara was ahead in life, and you kind of need to have a clawback turn, no pun intended, to be able to come back in the game, and he just didn't have it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think. I mean, I don't really think Pat misplayed. I think he just got stuffed in like every situation.
I mean,
Like
the two
anytime he
two
had any
lost in thoughts
semblance,
ruined his turns, right?
super good in this particular matchup. I think there's a bunch of matchups I probably like. I think in like super aggressive matchups, I don't. Well, I think it'd be good for like a similar reason. Like you take their one blue and you might
Right.
stymie a whole lot of damage. But
Yeah. Well,
uh,
imagine you're against Bravo and he's like relying on keeping two blues behind to play a crippling crush, and you just take his blue away. And it's like, wow, I can't play anything now. It really
it's
shuts
it's
down the turn.
yeah. I think it might be a bit less good into Bravo just because you need to pitch a card to play it. So Lost in Thought's a 2 card play. So if you're like a lot of your cards do block for two, right? So I
Yeah.
guess if if you're able to keep a 4 card hand, you can like 0 for 4, 0 for 4, pitch for Lost in Thought, and it's like pretty okay. But it's also you're
Yeah.
also giving them the ponder. So it's not even
True.
that like they
True.
could still hit something better. Like you could take their blue, they could take their last blue or whatever, and then they could ponder in like a crippling to Arsenal or something, and it's kind
Yeah.
of bad.
That's
But
a
like
good point.
it's not terrible into Bravo. It's just probably not as good into Bravo. It's just better into the decks just are generally more curve intensive, whereas
Yeah.
Bravo is in this matchup. Uh, he's not as curve intensive because like
He's
at the end of the day,
popping. He's swinging a Nothos, maybe.
he is popping, but he's also got like a shit ton of armor. Like he doesn't have to give up. He can combine like a number of cards to block,
Hmm.
and it's fatiguing is also just like I feel like it's like a pretty real strategy that Bravo has into Dromai. Like Bravo can do it into Big Dragon Dromai,
Hmm.
for that matter, and just like do it
Right.
that way. And still, like when you're hashtag fatiguing
Mm-hmm.
as Bravo, you still have crippling, you still have Starstruck, you still have pulverized. Like you
Okay.
can't just like let Bravo have his 4 card hands kind of thing. But like in Namara build, it's like you don't have setup, not really, like you just
Yeah.
don't have enough ash to really be able to set up and items and shit like that to be able to set up
Yeah.
like time snap and Vincerikai ash and shit like that. So I think
That's
it's a little bit
true.
different here, but I think into aggro it's actually like pretty reasonable just because a lot of decks don't utilize ponder that well other than maybe Lexi. So I probably will say this is probably not a great card into Lexi because it blocks two and like they can use the ponder pretty well.
Yeah.
uh
Yeah.
but into decks like this, into mid-range decks, I could say because they're like they'll block and keep a 2-card 8, and then you just lost the thought, and now their 2 card,
Mm-hmm.
their 1 card is nothing, right? Or their one
Honestly,
card 3.
Levia is probably just the worst deck to have it against, like, or sorry, the best deck to have it
The
into.
best deck to have it, yeah,
Because you
yeah.
have the mid-range component and you have the blood debt component. If you take out take away
Yeah,
the one blood debt card, then you're just taking like free damage off blood debt. So
yeah.
it's double
Because
whammy.
what
It's really good.
other what other deck has a 2-card 8? Like a 2-card
Yeah,
consistent 8 other than Levia? I can't think of a single deck that can
Shriner.
consistently 2-card 8. Yeah, other than okay, Brute in
Just
general,
brute
but
in
like
general.
Levia
Yeah.
could do it even Levia could do it even better because of Deadwood, right? So
Mm,
there's your 2-card 8. So you can take the blue and you
sure.
have a red Deadwood in hand, and then
Yeah.
you're just like,
Yep.
I can't even pitch it towards Mandible. Like
Yeah.
so,
Exactly. Can't block
it
with it.
literally
Can't pitch it away.
you
Yeah.
get 8, like you get 8 value off Lost in Thought. It's pretty stupidly good, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's so consistent in that. So
It's true.
nice card to add, Mara. Congratulations on the win in your top 8. Obviously, this is a little bit of an older tournament.
We're
So
watching this. Yeah, like a
um,
week later, I think. It was like last weekend.
yeah, a week or two later.
Two
Yeah,
weeks ago.
no,
Yeah.
no, wait, it's a week. It's a week later. I think it's a week.
Okay.
Because Chicago just happened and Cincinnati is the week
Okay.
before. So with that, hopefully everyone enjoyed the content. If you like this kind of content, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And with that, from wherever you're watching the world, have a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Bye for now.